Good morning and welcome to the Public Service Commission for our agenda session. It is October 12th. Let's take a roll call of commissioners, please. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioners Thomas, Carolee, Williams, and Powers, and Belser. And joining us virtually, we have Commissioners Caston and Irvin. Would you please join me for a moment of silent reflection before we begin? Thank you. Mr. Butler.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chairman and other members of the commission. The first order of business would be to set the next commission business meeting, and staff would recommend that that be set on Wednesday, October 20th at 11 a.m.
Okay, Wednesday, October 20th at 11 a.m. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the utilities agenda, items 1 through 4, staff would recommend that these be taken together, and I will outline them very quickly for the commission. Item number 1 is docket number 2011-170C. It's a partner delivery service arrangement amendment to the interconnection agreement between United Telephone Company of the Carolinas, DBA CenturyLink, and Spock Incorporated. Item number 2 is a traffic exchange agreement between United Telephone Company of the Carolinas, DBA CenturyLink, and Charter FiberLink, SCCCO LLC. Item number 3 is docket number 2021-315. This is an interconnection agreement between United Telephone of the Carolinas LLC, DBA CenturyLink, and Vero Fiber Networks LLC. And item number 4 is an interconnection agreement between TDS Telecommunications LLC, Charter FiberLink SCCCO LLC, and Time Warner Cable Information Services South Carolina LLC.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. Commissioners, is there a motion?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Powers.
Thank you. I would move that the commission approve the interconnection agreements and amendments to interconnection agreements in items 1 through 4 as listed by Mr. Butler.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion passes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Item 5 is docket number 2009-144C. There is a request by SafeLink Wireless Incorporated for confidential treatment of the ETC quarterly report ending June 30, 2021.
Commissioners, is there a motion?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Powers?
Thank you again. I would move that the commission approve the request of SafeLink Wireless Incorporated for confidential treatment of the ETC quarterly report ending June 30th, 2021, since the report contains commercially sensitive information. I so move.
Thank you. Commissioners, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Powers?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion passes.
Item 6 is under docket number 1996-255C. In this particular case, the request is that the commission accept as information the notification of proposed transfer of control from Magna 5 Holdings LLC, the transferor, to International Telecom LLC, the transferee.
Is there a motion?
Vice Chair Belser, this is Commissioner Caston. I'd like to make a motion.
Please proceed, Commissioner Caston.
I move that the commission accept as information the notification of proposed transfer of control from Magna 5 Holdings LLC, transfer to International Telecom LLC, transferee. I so move.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion passes.
Item 7 is in docket number 2008-377C, and that item is the request for approval of the FCC Modernizing, Unbundling, and Resale Requirements Amendment filed on behalf of United Telephone Company of the Carolinas, LLC, DBA CenturyLink, and Comcast Phone of South Carolina, Incorporated.
Is there a motion?
Vice Chair Belser, this is Commissioner Caston.
Go ahead, Commissioner Caston.
I move that the commission approve the FCC Modernizing, Unbundling, and Resale Requirements Amendment filed on behalf of United Telephone Company of the Carolinas, LLC, doing business as CenturyLink and Comcast Phone of South Carolina, Incorporated.
Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item 8 is in docket number 2017-304G. There's a natural gas agreement between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and Ruiz Food Products Incorporated. This is an agreement for transportation service with firm gas standby.
Commissioners, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Powers?
thank you. I would move that the commission approve the agreement for transportation services with firm gas standby between Ruiz Food Products Incorporated and Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated. The commission's checklist for gas contracts under Commission Regulation 103-403D has been satisfied.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Commissioner Powers?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item 9 is in docket number 2021-304G. There's a request for approval of an agreement for transportation service with firm gas standby between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and Nephron Nitrile LLC.
Is there a motion?
Vice Chair Belzer.
Commissioner Williams?
Thank you. I move that the commission approve the agreement for transportation service with firm gas standby between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and Nephron Nitrile LLC. The commission's checklist under Commission Regulation 103-403D is satisfied.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers? And I vote aye as well. The motion carries.
Item number 10 is in 2 dockets, Madam Chair. Docket number 2021-143E and 2021-144E. And there's a question of the Office of Regulatory Staff's motion for oral argument and motion for summary judgment in the Smart Saver Solar as Energy Efficiency Program dockets.
Is there a motion?
Vice Chair Belser, this is Commissioner Caston. I'd like to make a motion.
Please go ahead, Commissioner Caston.
I move that this matter be carried over for consideration at the next commission meeting to be held on Wednesday, October 20th, 2021.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions or discussion? I believe that this is being carried over to allow the Office of Regulatory Staff to file a response. Is that correct?
That'd be correct.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Thank you.
We'll take a vote on this. Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. The motion passes.
Item number 11 is in two dockets, docket number 2019-226E and 2021-9E. And before the commission today is a joint motion requesting an amended procedural schedule. It's filed on behalf of South Carolina Coastal Conservation League, Southern Alliance for Clean Energy, Sierra Club, and Carolina's Clean Energy Business Association.
Is there a motion?
Vice Chair Belzer.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you. In accordance with Order 2021-641, the parties of record have provided a status report and proposed compromise procedural schedule. I move that the Commission amend the existing procedural schedule in this matter and adopt the following revisions. The Office of Regulatory Staff shall have 120 days from the date that Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated filed its 2021 Integrated Resource Plan update with the Commission to file its report assessing the sufficiency of the filing as provided by Section 58-37-40 of the South Carolina Code of Laws. Dominion Energy South Carolina filed its 2021 Integrated Resource Plan update on August 17, 2021. This means that ORS must file its report not later than December 15, 2021. Number 2, all of the other parties of record or all interested parties other than ORS shall have 30 days from the date that ORS files its report to file comments on the report. And number 3, all parties of record, including ORS, shall have 30 days from the date established in item 2 above to file a response to the comments filed about the report. To avoid any confusion, I move that the Commission clarify and order that a hearing may be requested in this docket upon filing with the Commission of a request or motion by any party of record in this docket. Additionally, the Commission has the right to sua sponte to set this docket for hearing and to direct the clerk office to send notice of hearing and pre-file testimony deadlines and related transmittal letters and notices. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Any questions or discussion?
Vice Chair Belzer?
Commissioner Williams?
I just wanted to add that, integrated resource plans are, relatively new in terms of the Commission's ability to make decisions about them. And we've heard a lot about applicants' increased stakeholder process, their commitment to increased transparency, and all of that means that we could have a circumstance where we might not need a hearing. But what we're doing in this motion is keeping that opportunity open and making it clear that we want to have that ability to hold a hearing if it's deemed necessary. But there's no preconceived determination that we will have one.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further questions? Comments? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a vote. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. The motion carries. Mike?
Sorry. Madam Chair and other members of the commission, staff recommends that items 12 and 13 be taken together. We have two motions, two requests by Commissioner Carolee Williams for allowable ex parte briefings. One is from Piedmont Natural Gas Company and one from Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated.
Is there a motion?
Vice Chair Belzer?
Commissioner Williams?
Thank you. I move that the Commission request individual allowable ex parte briefings from Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and Piedmont Natural Gas Company Incorporated regarding the cost of gas on natural gas prices and electricity prices and its impact on customers. These allowable ex parte briefings shall be held on December 7th, 2021 at times which are separate and apart from any other allowable ex parte briefing scheduled for the same day. I further move that we give the staff the discretion to change this date if administratively necessary. I further move that Piedmont and Dominion Energy South Carolina present information to the Commission at these allowable ex parte briefings on the following items: overview of natural gas rates and rate making in South Carolina, current wholesale gas prices, trends, and the cause of these trends, impacts of gas prices, gas price trends to purchase gas adjustment by customer group, impacts of economic changes on rates via the Rate Stabilization Act, gas costs for electricity, Commission actions in other jurisdictions, customer impacts by increasing gas prices, how the PSC and utilities can keep gas cost prices down, and messaging rate changes. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioners, you've heard the motion requesting allowable ex parte briefings from Piedmont Natural Gas and Dominion Energy. Any questions or discussion?
Vice Chair Belzer?
Commissioner Williams?
Thank you. I make this motion because natural gas prices are exponentially increasing, nearly doubling over the past several months. It's a phenomenon that's happening around the United States, but the impact will be felt by fellow South Carolinians. My motion is that we hold allowable ex parte briefings on this subject for a number of reasons. First, we want to understand both the reasons for this out-of-control price escalation and the likely impact of natural gas prices on South Carolinians. Second, we should learn what our energy providers are doing within their powers to ameliorate the cost burden. Rising natural gas prices can impact not only gas bills, but also electric utility bills through rising fuel costs. It's important to note that by law, natural gas utilities may not and do not make a return or a profit on gas costs recovered through rates. Mostly, I want the Public Service Commission to consider with Dominion Energy South Carolina and Piedmont Natural Gas Company and other consumer advocates in the state what can be done to mitigate the potential shock to customers' wallets. Winter is always a challenging time for customers and utility bills. Learning more, hopefully we can find ways to together share strategies for managing soaring costs. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Vice Chair and other members of the commission, that does complete the utilities agenda for today. Moving on to the transportation agenda. The first three items are applications for Class C authority, and therefore staff would recommend that the three items be considered together. I will outline those items briefly for the commission. Docket number 2021-317T, application of J&J Safe Medical Transportation LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 2 is docket number 2021-318T, application of Seniors on Board Transportation LLC for Class C charter certificate. Item number 3 is docket number 2021-319T. It's the application of Ranky Tanky Transit LLC for Class C non-emergency certificate.
Vice Chair Belzer?
Commissioner
I
Williams?
have a motion.
Commissioner Williams?
I move that the applications for Class C authority and items number 1 through 3 be approved as listed by Mr. Butler.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Vice Chair, the members of the commission, Item number 4 is docket number 2021-215T. It's the application of Positive Moves Relocation and Transfer LLC for Class E Household Goods Certificate.
Do I have a motion?
Vice Chair Belser, Commissioner Caston, I would like to make a motion.
Thank you. Please proceed.
I move that the application of Positive Moves Relocation and Transfer LLC for a Class E Household Goods Certificate be approved. I further move that the company file its final tariff with the Commission and serve a copy on the Office of Regulatory Staff within 10 days. So moved.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion. Any questions or discussion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Urban?
thank you. After reviewing the testimony and evidence presented in this case and reviewing the applicable law, I have some concerns I'd like to share with the Commission. As you know, South Carolina Code Section 5823-1010 of the South Carolina Code of Laws provides for certain regulations of Class E motor carriers in South Carolina. And our own regulation found in South Carolina Code annotated regs 103-114 provides that pursuant to law, a certificate for a property carrying vehicle will not be approved unless the applicant applying for the certificate may make a showing that he's fit, willing, and able to perform appropriately proposed service. The regulation 103-133 subsection 1 goes on to outline the requirements that the applicant must demonstrate and show to the Commission. Fit, willing, and able. And I'm going to focus my comments first on the fitness requirement, which requires the applicant to demonstrate to the Commission that the applicant's safety rating is satisfactory. This can be obtained from South Carolina Department of Public Safety's records. And in this case, we do have the driving records of the two principals for this limited liability company. And both principals have driving records that concern me, but I'm going to focus first on Mr. Stamos' record, which is his official 10-year driving history, which is a part of our record. It concerns me that he has listed over 25 various driving violations during the past 10 years. But the ones that concern me the most are his failure to appear at numerous trials and court appearances. He was suspended indefinitely for failing to appear beginning back in November 13th of 2016, and his license was suspended again in June 2nd of 2020. He was convicted of speeding on February the 13th, 2020. His insurance was canceled on 3/9/2020. And then he had other violations, which included failing to appear for a court on July the 4th of 2016, failing to appear for a traffic ticket on April the 30th of 2016, failing to appear for a traffic ticket on April the 30th of 2016, reckless driving violation on 4/30/2016, which resulted in a conviction on June 15, 2016. Speeding more than 10 miles an hour, conviction on that ticket on 5/26/16. Driver license was surrendered and suspended. He operated an unsafe vehicle and was convicted on July 30th of 2012. His license was suspended again on a citation for transporting hazardous materials on July the 30th of 2012. He failed to pay or answer a suspension which began on July the 7th of 2011. He failed to appear and pay fines on a suspension on 9/21/2011. Failed to appear for citation again on 9/21/2011. Failed to answer a citation and pay a fine on, which resulted in a suspension beginning July 7, 2011. Failed to appear and pay tickets and fines on 9/21/2011. And also on, that actually were the ones that concerned me. And the other applicant also has conviction for, speaking of Ms. Moran, she has a conviction for being at fault in an accident, which was occurred on June the 1st of 2020. And then she also had a violation which resulted in a conviction for driving too fast for conditions on August the 6th of 2020. So both principals of the LLC have driving records which are concerning, particularly Mr. Stamos. I know that he has provided some explanation for this record, but I don't believe it's sufficient to meet his burden of proof that he's fit at this time. So what I would like to propose to the commission, due to the lengthy driving record and to his willful failure to repeatedly appear in court and take care of these matters, that since he does not, in my opinion, meet the fitness requirements to operate a household goods Class E vehicle, I would propose that we carry this matter over for 1 year and see if he can go for 1 year without any further traffic violations. And then if he can, and update his 10-year driving record after 1 year, then we'll reconsider the matter at that time. That would be my motion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Vice Chair.
Commissioner Caston, we have a motion on the floor. Are you making a substitute motion, Commissioner Irvin? Or are you making
Yes,
an amendment?
I'd like to ask Commissioner Caston if you would consider my motion as an amendment.
Well,
It's not a friendly amendment because it vitiates the entire motion. Therefore, it would have to, if you're making that as amendment, we will treat it as such.
Yes, I'm making it as an amendment. I understand your ruling, Madam Chair.
if I may, Madam Vice Chair, and I absolutely appreciate Commissioner Urban's concern. No choice about it. What I guess what my thoughts are that they currently both, as I understand it, have valid South Carolina driving license. I absolutely would not dispute that be passed is less than desirable. But looking at right now, complying with, as I understand it, DMV laws, I believe, and the record, I think, indicates that they comply with all laws that I'm aware of. And I absolutely understand, Commissioner Irvin, your concerns. Wouldn't have to look too deep in probably some of my family's history to see similar things. And not excusing any of that, but unless there is something else I'm missing, Vice Chair Belser, I still believe, based on the ORS's recommendation and where things stand currently legally, I believe they meet that requirement.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. I'd like to make a few comments, if I could, on the amendment. Commissioner Irvin, I do understand your concern, and I appreciate of that greatly. However, as I read the regulation, the safety rating is different from the driving record. The safety rating applies to vehicles, I believe it's over 26,001 pounds. And that incorporates some of the requirements from the federal DOT. I do note in the regulations under the requirements of fit, willing, and able for household goods carriers, there is no requirement for a check of any driver for household goods carriers for the company, for the entity, and that would be the LLC here, to require either background checks or driving records on household goods. Now, whether that's an oversight or what, it is not in the regulation for determining fit, willing, and able for household goods carriers. However, for certain other certificates, those requirements are there. They are there for taxi cab companies that they require background checks and driving records and a check of the sex offender registry. That's there for taxi cab drivers and stretcher vans, non-emergency vehicles. It's not there. So while I share concern over driving, it is not a requirement under the fit, willing, and able regulation. I also note that under 58-23-330, grounds for issuance or denial of certificate, if an application is denied, another application may not be made until at least 6 months have elapsed since the date of the denial. And while it says at least 6 months, I don't think that we could say that this applicant would have to go a year. Maybe I'm reading that.
Thank you for calling that to my attention, and I would amend my motion to only require 6 months clean driving record, and then we'll reconsider the matter after 6 months. Thanks for calling that to my attention.
But that's on the denial of an application, and I think there would have to be the affirmative denial of the application before that would trigger. That's just my reading of it.
I'll further amend my motion to deny the application at this time and allow the applicant, if he chooses, to refile after 6 months.
Okay. Well, we have any further discussion from commissioners? Commissioner Powers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Regardless of, to me, whether or not there's a requirement that these matters, driving records or whatever, are to be considered, in the testimony itself, Mr. Stamos admitted these 8 violations, and in fact, under questioning, just before that, was also charged with driving under suspension. My main concern with the testimony is that it was presented that he is going to train drivers, and I just cannot accept with that record that he should train the drivers, I think that takes it out of the fit part. Maybe if Ms. Moran had applied by herself without bringing him in, of course, we would never have known any of this, but this is part of the testimony and evidence in this case. So as far as Commissioner Caston's motion, I'm afraid I'm going to have to vote no.
Well, we've got an amendment motion first, so we'll deal with that one first. Any further discussions? Okay, we have a
Vice Chair Belzer, procedurally, if I have something to add to the discussion about Commissioner Caston's motion, should I hold that until that time?
Well, we'll vote on the amendment first.
Okay.
And depending on if that passes or not,
Okay.
You may need to go ahead and have
Okay.
your comments.
Thank you. From my understanding, and to not reiterate what everybody has said about the challenge of this decision, I look to the South Carolina driver's license information and look to their process for the time period that points stay on a license. And I cannot quote how long those are on there, but I know that they roll off because they rolled off of mine. And so as I listened to Commissioner Urban's discussion, while there is not, there's a lack of specificity in the current law for making these decisions, my personal judgment is that things that happened that have rolled off of a driver's license are not, I feel like I should not let that sway my decision. And so to just reiterate what I think Commissioner Caston said is that the record shows 1 point on the driver's license currently. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Madam Chair, I would note that, as Commissioner Williams noted, that not all points have rolled off, that he's still subject to 1 point. And so that is a part of the official driving record. Thank you.
We have an amendment that basically is substitutes for the original motion, and that is to Commissioner Urban, I don't want to speak for you, but basically to not approve the application. Is that correct?
That's correct. No, I would restate the motion this way, that we deny the application at this time. And if the applicant chooses to reapply after 6 months, we'll reconsider it at that time based on his updated driving record from the South Carolina Department of Public Safety.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the motion. I don't think, does anybody have any further discussion? Don't want to cut anybody off.
Vice Chair Belson, the only thing I would say or ask is I understand greatly Commissioner Urban's concern and Commissioner Powell's concern. But unless there is something I am missing statutorily, I can find no reason not to approve this based on current law and regulation.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Caston. I'm just trying to do the right procedure of handling the amendment before typically, even if we have a substitute motion, we do the substitute motion before the first motion. And so that's why I'm following this process. So the motion is to deny, as stated by Commissioner Urban. We will take a roll call vote. Commissioner Urban?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
No.
Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
No.
Commissioner Caston?
No.
And I vote no. That motion does not carry. We will proceed to Commissioner Caston's motion, which was to approve the application. Is that correct, Commissioner Caston?
Yes, Vice Chair.
We will proceed to a roll call vote on Commissioner Caston's motion. Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
No.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
No.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Vice Chair Belser,
Commissioner Thomas.
can I just make a comment? I know we've already voted, but, is that okay?
That's fine with me.
Thank you. I would just like to say that, a lot of excellent points were made. And these are serious matters and these are tough decisions, and they impact a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And I do have concerns about the driving record. And my hope is that these two people form a good team and have a good influence on each other. And my hope is that they're paying attention and understand how serious this is and how important this is to all of us. So basically what I'm saying is they need to work together and make sure that they're following the rules and doing this thing right. And that would be my hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Mr. Butler?
Yes, Madam Chair and other members of the commission, staff would ask that item number 5 and docket number 2021-188T be carried over at this time.
And I understand that this being carried over because we don't have all the information that was to be provided. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. We are missing an exhibit.
Thank you very much. That matter will be carried over.
Thank you. Item number 6 is docket number 2021-187T. We have the request of Royal Riders LLC for an extension of time until December 15th, 2021 to comply with commission rules and regulations.
Commissioners, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Powers?
I move that the request of Royal Riders LLC for an extension of time until December 15th, 2021 to comply with commission rules and regulations be granted. I so move.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion from Commissioner Powers. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Powers?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 7 is in docket number 2021-131T. We have a request of Northside NEMT LLC for an additional extension of time until July 7th, 2022 to comply with commission rules and regulations.
Do I hear a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Powers?
thank you again. I move that the commission grant the request of Northside NEMT LLC for an additional extension of time to comply with the commission rules and regulations, but only until May 7th, 2022, which is the 1-year anniversary of the issuance of the order granting the original authority to the company. I further move that the commission hold no further extensions be granted and that any action after May 7th, 2022 be considered only if the company has filed a new application for a certificate. I so move.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion of Commissioner Powers. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a roll call vote. Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 8 is in docket number 2021-287T. We have a request of Nicholas Edwards, DBA Steady Ready Transport, to modify the name on his Class C non-emergency certificate to Steady Ready Transport LLC.
Do I have a motion?
Madam Vice Chair,
Commissioner Thomas?
thank you. I move that the commission grant the request of Nicholas Edwards, DBA Steady Ready Transport's request to amend the application for Class C non-emergency certificate to read Steady Ready Transport LLC. So moved.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a roll call vote. Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 9 is docket number 2020-175T. We have the request of Journey Medical Transportation Services, LLC, to amend its Class C non-emergency certificate number 9544 to include an additional address for that business.
Commissioners, do we have a motion?
Madam Vice Chair,
Commissioner Thomas,
thank you. I move that the commission grant the request of Journey Medical Transportation Services, LLC, to amend Class C non-emergency certificate number 9544 to include 1460 Oakcrest Drive, apartment 1708, Columbia, South Carolina, 29223 as an additional address. So moved.
Commissioners, you've heard Commissioner Thomas's motion. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a roll call vote. Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 10 is docket number 2021-269T. We have an application of Gentle Giant Moving and Storage to amend their tariff.
Vice Chair Belzer.
Commissioner Williams,
Thank you. I move that the commission carry this matter over pending further review of the proposed amendments to the tariff of Gentle Giant. Without insight into the basis for the proposed increase, the commission cannot make a fully informed decision. The commission requests additional information from the company regarding the proposed increase in its rates. I so move.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion of Commissioner Williams. Any questions or discussion? Commissioner Williams, just to make sure I understand, all we're asking for is, and by this motion, is reasoning for increasing the rates. Is that correct? Exactly. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move to a roll call vote. Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 11 is docket number 2021-232T. We have the application of Gamecock Moving LLC to amend its tariff and for approval of use of an electronic bill of lading, excuse me.
Commissioners, do I have a motion?
Vice Chair Belzer, Commissioner Caston, I'd like to make a motion.
Please go ahead.
I move that the commission grant the amended application of Gamecock Moving LLC for approval to amend its tariff and for the use of electronic bill of lading. I would note that the commission has already approved the waiver of notice in order number 2021-65. I further move that the company file its amended tariff with the commission and serve a copy of it in the Office of Regulatory Staff within 10 days. And if I may, I so move on that emotion, and it's just, I guess, to elaborate, some ORS impact study that has been received in the ORS tariff comparison. We also have an explanation letter from Gamecock Movers from their attorney, Mr. Charles Torini, explaining their request and the reasons for their tariff increase and any other items. So that is the basis for the motion, for my motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Commissioners, you've heard Commissioner Caston's motion and explanation. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a roll call vote. Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Vote aye.
Commissioner Williams,
I vote aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Vice Chair and other members of the commission, staff would recommend that the request for reinstatement in item numbers 12 and 13 be taken together, and I'll outline those quickly for the commission. The first one is in item number 12 and docket number 2016-163T. We have a request from the Charleston Bus LLC. It's requesting reinstatement of Class C Charter Bus Certificate number 0380. Item 13 is in docket number 2018-273T, and there's a request for reinstatement of a Class C Charter Bus Certificate number 9372 filed by Classic Choice Limo LLC.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Irvin,
thank you. I move that the request for reinstatement in items number 12 and 13 be granted as outlined by Mr. Butler, subject to all commission rules and regulations. So moved.
thank you, Commissioner Irvin. Commissioners, you've heard the motion by Commissioner Irvin. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a roll call vote. Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Chair, that does complete the transportation agenda and indeed completes the agendas for the commission business meeting today.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. Thank you, Commissioners. Our next meeting will be, agenda meeting is scheduled for next Wednesday, October 20th at 11 a.m. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.